なアルとマイクみたいになりたい。でも電話してくれない。オークランドとブックレンドから世界チャンピオンバーチャルプローズ始まるよ。バーチャルプローズ。
To my motherfucking man, 50 grand, the alcoholic man, inject a tall can in his bloodstream if he can. Biggie Smalls, the 50 stroker, MC provoker, chocolate tie smoker, huh? I like to max and Maximas and Acuras. Your girl butt cheeks, I'm smacking, huh? The raw rapper, spine snapper with the little, cause on my lap, a shot, the but I ain't your fucking comforter. And if I ever fall in love, I bet I'm fucking her. Ask the if I didn't jerk her. If she try to front, then I
Episode 22 of the VRTL Pros Virtual Pros podcast. My name is Al, aka Tinder Mahal, aka Skirt Henning, aka Flocka Michinoku, aka Super Brazy, and with me is Mike.
Hey, motherfuckers, this is Mike from Brooklyn. I'm Mike, aka Sticky Steamboat, aka Mitsuhiro Marijuana, aka Slobby Rude.
Today's episode, things that happened in pro wrestling that we never expected to see. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at VRTL Pros. Same as our SoundCloud. Wait, no, that's not true. This is the second time I fucked this up. God damn it. God dang it. Find us on SoundCloud by searching for Virtual Pros. Hit that hard if you like it. And also subscribe to us on iTunes. You can find that by searching Virtual Pros as well. And if you want to email us, please do so at virtualpros64@gmail.com. We got 3 emails for the past 2 weeks. Mike, you want to start, or should I?
Oh, hell yeah, I'll start.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on a second.
Here we fucking go.
There we go. It's from listener Dane.
What's up, Dane?
His subject is e-feds. He wanted to know, did you guys ever participate in e-feds back in the late 90s? If so, what was your character? Love the podcast and annoying Mike in the wrestling thread on Podcast Town. Hashtag WealthPack. Hashtag DWIAB. Dane Wild.
What does that stand for?
Probably Dane Wild is a bitch, I would assume.
Oh, got him.
Maybe as a boss. I don't know.
All right.
Yes, I remember, I don't know how I found out about e-feds, probably from, I want to say through TV, but that just seems too weird.
That's a little weird.
Maybe magazines? I don't know. Like, it was some other, source besides searching, are there imaginary wrestling federations on the internet? Like, it was, something told me about these e-feds. Maybe it was a pro wrestling magazine. I don't know. But I was like, oh, that sounds fucking awesome. And I did it for like 2 weeks. And it was just like, I was like, this is dumb. And because it was like, it was either you do like, just like a real amateur one run by like other like 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Or there's like super serious ones where it was like just like 7,000 word promos and like all of like these stage directions and everything. And it's like, holy shit, man, like you need to do something else with your time. So I never got like deep into it. I tried it out and I didn't like it. I think the only character I had was Stabu, which was I think mentioned on an earlier episode, but that was like another creative character for wrestling video games. But yeah, I didn't get too deep into it because it didn't leave me with the satisfaction I wanted.
Yeah, I feel like I might have done this like when I was younger. I don't really recall the details, but I don't think I got too heavy into it, obviously. Like, I might have mentally done this while playing wrestling video games, but like that's as far as it went. Next email is from John, no subject. He writes in, fellas, I recently found myself retweeted by Dolph Ziggler because of a stupid joke I made. My mentions were then inundated with a bunch of individuals who are very clearly male wrestling fans using attractive women as their avatars. The question here is, are we all perpetually one step away from those wackos by virtue of being a wrestling fan? I have a good job, nice house, and a kid on the way, but I live in fear that one day something is gonna switch on in my brain and I start a Sami Zayn roleplay account or something. P.S. Fuck Rovert. P.P.S. Give me some of that ghoul shit. Yeah, we are like, teasing the line of like crossing over and being total freaks. I mean, I totally get the sentiment. I don't know what's stopping us, except for me wanting to be like socially, like, I don't know, acceptable. But other than that, we're definitely dangerously close by doing the podcast and being wrestling fans.
Yeah, I might have mentioned this on another episode before, but I think, there's some like dullard people out there and their brains can't really separate fantasy from reality when it comes to wrestling. And that's why wrestling is dangerous. It's a dangerous hobby. And yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of messed up, but it's true. Like, I've met people in my regular life that are like teetering on the brink of not knowing that wrestling is fake. And they exist out there, and I think those are the people you run into on Twitter, unfortunately.
I mean, this year might be the hardest I've ever gone, like, with pro wrestling love. Like, I went to WrestleMania this year. I thought about going to Brooklyn to watch NXT, but then I watched Bobby Roode talk for about 35 minutes, and I was like, not this year. But
yeah, man,
I mean,
I just saw that, and I was like, fuck, man. I kind of want to sell my tickets now. Like, I'm just hoping that Nakamura Samoa Joe really fucking delivers on some level, because they have to have a surprise, man. Like that, I almost put them the 2-man scramble. There has to be a surprise, right? There has to be something.
Well, so what's the card right now? The main event is Nakamura, Samoa Joe, and then you have Asuka Bailey. Is that it?
I would assume either Gargano, Ciampa, Revival, or a 3-way with the boring TMC 61. And either way, like, I see Johnny Gargano to every indie card I go. Like, I don't need to see him again. And I mean, not that he's a bad wrestler or anything, but it's like, damn, dude, like, he's here. Every single indie wrestling card that happens on the East Coast, he's on it. And so I don't know, like, Bobby Roode, that Ember Moon girl is debuting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, dude, like I just said on Twitter, like, last year was Jushin Liger's probably first and last appearance ever in a WWE ring. And this year is Bobby Roode. What the fuck? Like, it sucks. This is supposed to be like their WrestleMania is supposed to be TakeOver Brooklyn. And it's like, it's more of like their battleground right now. And it's fucking, I'm real bummed. I'm going to boo the whole thing. The whole time there, I'm just going to boo.
I don't know what kind of surprise they could have. Like,
they're going to have to pull something out, man.
Okay. Okada's going to be there in Brooklyn, maybe. I don't know.
I'm trying to think realistically. Like, I'll be like content if Ibushi shows up and he has like a good match. That's not asking much. They should have something way bigger planned. Like, I don't know what, but I don't fucking know, man. I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to that. And then, like, I'm a WrestleManiac too, because I'm going to go to Pennsylvania to see the King of Trios.
Yeah.
Weekend after, I'm going to Cleveland to see AIW. So I'm just turning into like a fucking world traveling wrestling dork.
Man, dude. And then when I go to Japan, I might see Dragon Gate, and I haven't seen like Dragon Gate in 4 years. So I don't know. This podcast has kind of ruined my life, honestly.
I mean, I even like when I was like totally like 0% into wrestling, like, you know, less than a year ago. Well, not true, but like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. If I went to Japan, I would definitely like go to wrestling because I think that's just like a real experience.
But like, so that show's happening, and then Freedoms is wrestling in the garage, and I think I might be more excited about going to that than like anything.
You should
go. I hope they bring the car out for that fucking show.
You might see that scissor board. That was
fuck off, Mike. Did you watch that shit?
I didn't watch it because I'm waiting for next episode when I put it on the mixtape.
All right. You have the next email?
Yeah, it's from Brady.
Yep.
He writes in Shameful Gear as the subject. He says, "What up, Al and Mike? Since you are the most fashion-forward wrestling podcast, can you please devote some time this episode ripping on Mirafuji's trash-ass pants and vest? The dude is representing the honor of his dying promotion in wrestling's premier tournament and comes walking out in that shit you buy in the SmackDown mall when you want to say that you unlocked everything. I would also say you could also make fun of Tama Tonga's dick-framing compression pants, but I feel bad. The Bullet Club merch money ain't rolling in like it used to now that something a little more ungovernable came along. Homeboy has to take what he can get. Feel free to take this as an opportunity to call out any other shit outfits and programs, preferably in star ratings, so that dorks can understand. Thanks, Brady, a.k.a. Rodney Mac 10, a.k.a. Flip Mode Squad Pettingill."
I don't have like a huge beef with Marufuji's vest, but like he definitely has some like boot cut pants that he's rocking. Yeah. And those are trash. Like, you gotta taper those, my G.
I forgive, like, any kind of things that Japanese wrestlers are wearing, I forgive, because I don't understand it. They come from a different world that I do not understand. A lot of them dress weird. I don't like, it's very hard for me, like, Okada wears some garish shit, and that's supposed to, like, convey that he's super rich, but it doesn't. He just looks weird. Like, and, like, Goto dresses weird, but it's like, it's supposed to, I don't know, it's supposed to be some kind of fucking traditional I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's something. And, Yeah, so Marufuji doesn't really stick out that much. I've never really watched. I mean, I've watched that dude like back in the day, but he's doing pretty good in the G1. On the other hand, Tamatanga is an embarrassment right now. They should send him home. Like, seriously, he's wrestling in actual underwear. Like, that is reprehensible.
I think the only like outfit beef I had right now is like, it's not even just the outfit. It's like his hair, and it's Evil. And I think Evil would be like 10 times tighter if he didn't have that like fucking like double Tarzan like whatever he has going on. That shit sucks. And he has that like purple streak in his hair. He looks like a trash like volleyball player like in high school. Like when he comes out, like he has the scythe and he has like a cool cape and he has like the laser fingers. And I'm like, that shit's tight. And then like he takes it all off and he looks like total garbage. So Evil, I don't know. You got to figure it out, bro. Goto, he kind of has like the male version of Meiko Satsumura's outfit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. But I mean, other than that, like Evil, I have beef with you on a fashion tip.
I have no beef with Evil because another thing the Japanese I don't think get right is like that heavy metal sort of satanic look, because one of my wrestle-bays, Cassandra Miyagi, is like, that's her whole gimmick too.
Yeah.
And she kind of looks like a clown too, but that's why I love it, because I'm like, she's such a clown. But hopefully I'm meeting her in Pennsylvania and marrying her, but we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll start two-man scramble. I guess I'll start off because I always do that.
Oh, shit.
Not really like a topic of conversation, but this is kind of a white whale that I have. And listeners, if you can help me out, it'd be great. I remember watching Nitro one Monday as a youth, and Lightning Foot Jerry Flynn, like after a match, he like looks into the camera on Nitro and he just starts swearing profusely. And then like he realizes he's being recorded live for like millions to watch. And like he gives like the most amazing look into the camera after he realizes such. And so, fans of Virtual Pros, if you can help me find this clip, it'd be much appreciated. Do you remember this happening?
I'm sorry, who did you say was swearing in the camera?
Lightning Foot Jerry Flynn. Like that white dude that does karate?
Yeah. And he just, like on Nitro, he just starts swearing
he
into
just
the camera.
starts swearing, like, nonstop, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, I might be imagining this, but it totally happened. Like, Matthew from Botchamania, if you recall this, like, hit me up.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something, if you Googled it should pop up.
I don't know, man. I've been looking for it for about 4 years now. My next topic is Los Ingobernables. They recently dropped a new black and red colored t-shirt for Naito, along with a baseball jersey. Mike, is this the most real-world wearable wrestling clothing line that's ever been created?
I think so. The only real miss they had was those shorts.
Yeah, those shorts are trash.
And the dress shirt is kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, they're doing good. Like, I've worn mine in public a bunch and not in front. I don't know if I've ever worn it to wrestling, but like, I've never gotten compliments or anything, but no one's like, look at you fucking dork. So I assume it blends right in with, every other weird shirt that you see in New York. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I wear that shirt all the time too.
Even that red shirt's like, that could have been way worse than it turned out. And it's pretty good.
That shirt is tight, and I wish that the hat wasn't a trucker hat because it's not 2001. Like, if they just made it a snapback, I would have been all over it. But I mean,
honestly, like, if it wasn't like fucking shock orange, that Hanma shirt that I think New Japan's shop still has is like maybe my favorite design of all time for like a wrestling shirt. It is fucking amazing, and I wish it wasn't orange, and I'm still like tempted to buy it, even though I would never, ever, ever wear it. But like, it looks so awesome. I love that shirt. I should just get a print of that. They should sell prints of that design because it's so good.
I think we follow that chick on Instagram that designed that shirt. I'll hit her up.
Who is it?
Nakado Ayano, I think her name is.
Oh, okay.
That chick with the crazy abs. Remember? We talked about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know she made that.
She's a good drawer.
She is a good drawer. That is one of my favorite designs ever.
I'm pretty sure that's her. My last topic, Enzo and Sasha Banks, they recently had a segment on Raw where they flirted with each other, which reminded me that a segment of Fan that exists where they care way too much about who's dating who. And when this happened, they were talking about her fiance, I think, Mikaze, who is the current seamstress. I don't know if that's the term if you're a guy and you make clothes for the WWE.
Seamster.
Is it really seamster? There you go.
I don't fucking know. It's probably seamstress.
And they were like, how is he dating her? And listeners, if you guys do this, you're a fucking loser. Like, you shouldn't care that someone is dating someone else, especially if you have zero chance of dating them. And like, this whole thing with like Paige and Del Rio and like Mikaze and Sasha Banks, I was like, man, Let my AZN brother live, dude. He fucking won. He won for us, and you guys are hating on him, calling him a fob, and just wondering how he fucking pulled it off. Just congratulate, man. That's why you're on Twitter, fucking low-key sad about your entire life, because you care way too much about who's fucking who. Stop it.
Not to call you out or anything, Al, but you tweeted about this, and I had to text you to ask who this dude was, and you were like, it's Sasha Banks' boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird fact to know. Like, I don't know.
Dude, like, a lot of people know that. I wasn't actively
like,
seeking it out.
I guess. Like, I don't know if you get, like, an Asian guy newsletter or something, but...
I get the memos, dog.
It was a weird fact.
Listeners, if you guys didn't know about this and you think it's weird, email us, virtualpro64@gmail.com. That was my last topic.
Okay, I got a bunch. I'm going to do them in increasingly... vicious, I guess. Vicious tears. First, I want to apologize to the blogger lady that I kind of trashed.
Oh, shit.
Last episode. I still think what she did was rude, but, like, I get carried away where I think everybody knows that I'm kind of joking when I say stuff out loud, and I'm not. Like, not that I'm not. I mean, like, some people don't know that I'm joking, and I think I, like, promoted woman violence in that rant, and like that's not good. Like, I didn't mean to go that far. It was all a joke. Like, I don't really care that she didn't listen to our podcast. I just think it's a weird stance to take when you are in the public eye of wrestling, but whatever. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'll start off easy and just ease my way into this. First off, I think I might be changing my stance on what is worse, buying used men's or women's underwears. Okay. Wrestling underwears, because I asked my friend Mark, who doesn't watch wrestling, and he's one of the rare people that not only doesn't watch wrestling, but he didn't even watch it when he was a kid. He's just like an innocent bystander. And I was like, what do you think is worse, buying a used woman wrestlers stuff or used guy wrestler stuff? And like, without skipping a beat, he was like, oh, women's. And I was like, why though? And he was like, why do you think men's? And I was like, I don't know, it's creepier. And he's like, but it's not though. Like, you know, a woman, like, there's like so many bad things. And I don't know, like, he kind of made me change my stance. I was like, maybe if a regular person who knows nothing about wrestling thinks a woman's gear is worse, then maybe a woman's gear is worse. I don't know. Number two, not to call him out, but he asked a famed wrestling couple that fight on the independents and may have already been mentioned once on this podcast. And the husband said that definitely the girl's stuff is worse, and she agreed. So I don't know. Everybody's against me in this argument. It might be time for me to change my stance.
I thought you were on the men's side the entire time.
I was on the men's side the entire time. I'm saying maybe I'm switching to the women's side. Oh,
no, I meant that you would rather have men's stuff than women's.
Man, maybe I was. No.
Yeah, you were like, dude, I'd rather have Bobby Eaton's trunks all day over like a girl's like items around them.
I can't even remember. I make up so many things in my head now that I can't remember. Either way, I might be back on the women's side.
I think we're like arguing two different things. Like, what's creepier? I don't know. But what would I rather have? Definitely women's stuff. Because women, you know, come on, man. I would rather have that.
Then you're creepier then.
Maybe I am. Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? Okay, next, Zack Sabre Jr. made his WWE debut on the Cruiserweight Classic, and a ton of people who have heard his name on the internet who have never seen him pretty much had the same reaction we had when we started this podcast. Like, really? Is that it?
Yeah.
Really? Just that guy? I will admit that match was super fucking boring. The crowd did not give a shit. And, like, what did you think of that match, Al?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I was just like, that's it. But I kind of knew what I was like getting into just because like we watched that dude like a couple months ago. I mean, it was boring, and like I don't know if that style is really gonna get through to like the WWE audience, honestly.
Supposedly they already offered him a contract, and I just think it's too, just because he's popular. Because I don't see him working. Like, I checked the comments on that website the lady blogger writes for, and like. Somebody said it was hipster wrestling, which I don't agree with, but somebody else said...
Is that a thing?
No, that's why, like, anything anybody doesn't like is hipster or something, and it's such a played out term. Just get over it.
Yeah.
But, no, somebody else said he's like the Steve Vai of wrestling, which is probably the most, like, accurate comparison ever, which is just like... He's like, it's just, if you guys don't know, Steve Vai is a guitarist that only guitar dorks like, so I think Zack Sabre Jr. is really a wrestler only wrestling dorks like. And I just I think he really let out a big fart in his first match, and hopefully he doesn't win this tournament now. But We'll see.
I don't know. He's just like the ultimate, like, my gimmick is good wrestler. And like, that's not entertaining to me in the very least.
I don't want to say too much because when I wrote this down, I wasn't planning on putting a Zack Sabre Jr. match on the mixtape. So we'll get more into it later. But yeah, I just think that match was pretty subpar. Okay, next up, Finn Balor recently made some history by debuting on Raw and getting his way into the main event of SummerSlam over the course of one Raw. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. And I was like just voraciously watching Twitter that night. Like, what do these fucking naysayers have to say now? And everybody, like, there's a wide variety of excuses made. But most of them were, no, it's not like I hated him. I just hated that he was in NXT, and now he's amazing that he's on WWE Raw. And you got to do better than that, man. You got to just admit you were wrong. Like, that's all you got to do is fucking admit you are wrong. But I don't know. This week, I think that he's back. Like, they're back on hating him again. So I don't know. But what I wanted to ask you is, if we were doing the Summer Shame, which is next episode, if we're doing the Summer Shame picks right now, are you picking Finn Balor to win that or no?
Yeah, I'm picking him. Are you trying to get some strategy going on right now? I shouldn't have told you.
No,
dude. He's gonna win.
Unless like something happens between now and when we record that episode, I don't think I'm gonna pick Finn Balor to win that match, but we'll see.
Oh, dude, he's taking the title home, man. You're gonna wear that Jerry Lawler shirt, summertime. I can't wait.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know. I got to really think about this, but I don't know. I don't see him winning. I don't see them having that much faith in him, but I guess we'll see. Okay, the last two things I have are getting a little gritty here. First is, as we mentioned last episode, I believe we talked about this. Again, I make up a lot of stuff in my head. Maybe I made this up. But we talked about the guy from the Talking Sheet podcast. Our friend Toshman called him a dweeb on the internet, and then he blocked him.
Yeah.
That guy quit podcasting. I just want to say we're on a roll. Virtual Pros on a roll, just exposing and crushing all fakes out there. You get name dropped on your podcast. You're probably going to quit podcasting, and that's fucking great for us because that was my whole sentiment 2 episodes ago. I want you all to quit podcasting, and it's good that this Sheet Talk guy took my advice and fucking quit because he knows he's a dweeb. And I know a lot of our followers, a lot of our more renowned followers, I guess you would say, were just like, oh, it's a sad day that this fucking dweeb quit podcasting. But it's not. Good. I'm glad he quit podcasting. I hope you all quit.
I have no comments, dude. It's so funny that people write into us and they're just like, fuck this dude. Like, why are we the outlet for fucking hate on other people's, like, fandom? It's kind of sad. Well, it's kind of funny, actually.
Oh, yeah, that one guy said fuck Rover. I don't even know who Rover is, but
yeah.
That was another guy, number 2, Brian, like texted me about, because I think he retweeted something we said, and he was like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, I don't know who this fucking dork is. Like, I don't know these fucking people. And he's like, and number 2, he's like, oh, he's one of those people that, like, always criticize Dave Meltzer and thinks, like, he gets the scoops before Dave. And I was like, fuck him. I don't care. Like, I mean, I don't need to repeat myself every episode, but I have respect for the wrestlers because they do the craft, they do the art that I enjoy so much. All of you hangers on, I have no respect for. So, quit your podcast. Quit your podcast.
I'm cool with this.
Okay, my last one. This is a big one. I don't want to name names.
You just want to start naming names now, or what? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where people are in the know, probably know what podcast I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And for those who don't, you want to hit me up. I'll gladly tell you. I just don't want to say it out loud because, like I said, I don't like propping up stuff that is shitty.
No free promos on this.
It's bad
show.
Enough that we gave out that mental health podcast link so much that they have that shit in their spotlight on their SoundCloud now. Like thinking people listen to that because they really enjoyed it and not because like half the world is fucking laughing at them. And so I don't privately I'll give you the name of this shitty podcast I'm about to mention all day. But it's a podcast we've talked about and brought up many times. It might even be the impetus for the just be charming, don't buy shit slogan of Virtual Pros.
Oh, it is.
Don't buy shit, just be charming. And so there's a podcast out there, and it's It's two guys, and they're talking about mostly Japanese wrestling. I won't say what sex of Japanese wrestling, but it may be more of one sex than the other sex. And it's two guys, and the main host, I would say, is maybe like new to women, maybe even new to Japanese wrestling. I don't fucking know. I'm not like fronting like I'm an old school scholar, because I listened to like episode 10 of this podcast and I was still hating on women's wrestling. So I'm not pretending like I'm some old maid in this or anything, but they may or may not watch a lot of women's Japanese wrestling on this podcast, and they may or may not talk about it a lot. And so the main host always he introduces the matches they talk about. And I was going to let this slide. This is something that me and Al have talked about like months ago. And I was just like, I'm going to let this fucking slide. I'm not Asian. I don't, this is not my, I don't have any fucking, I don't have anybody, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't have anything in this fight. But this guy, he pronounces the names of all of the Japanese wrestlers like with such inflection to the point that it sounds Spanish almost, where it's just like you got to calm down, dude. And like, I was just like, okay, whatever, man. Like, he's overexcited. But the last episode I listened, I hate listening to this podcast because it just fires me up. And I'm just like, yes, we're so good. Everybody should quit. And that's how I go into listening to this podcast. One of the wrestlers is a woman's wrestler by the name of Hibiscus Me or Hibiscus Mai. I believe it's Me. It's M-I-E, I believe. But her name is Hibiscus, and he pronounced hibiscus as if that was a Japanese word. And I lost my shit. Like, it was just like a cartoon where like my face turned red and steam started coming out of my ears. Cause like, I mean, I'm not doing this justice. Like, you gotta listen to this dude pronounce these names, but it's just like, dude, it's fucking insulting to Japanese people to do this. Like, Japanese people appreciate, again, I'm not Asian, so I shouldn't speak for everybody, but in my experience, Japanese people would appreciate it if you just used your regular fucking accent to pronounce their words. They're not going out of their way to pronounce R's in words, in our American words, and it's not like when a Japanese person says an L instead of an R, I don't like fucking lose my shit because I understand, because I'm a civil human being. So doing this fucking cartoon Mickey Mouse shit of like overemphasizing foreign words is fucking ridiculous, and it's kind of racist, honestly. And you need to fucking stop, because you sound like a jackass, and maybe quit podcasting.
Pump the brakes. So he was like, Hibisikusu. I didn't hear it. I mean, I listen to this podcast, like I hate listening to it sometimes, and I noticed that this dude does it a lot, but for him to pronounce like a totally like English word and like Japanify it is pretty fucking amazing.
Level of like Anime Club, like, yeah, he's like, it's like he's making up his own Japanese accent or something. It's like real weird, and it's fucking super racist. I was texting like with a Japanese person the other day, and she's from Japan, and like she always fucks up, like, and like we're talking about horses for some reason. We're talking about a movie with horses in it, and she kept like constantly spelling house, and I wasn't gonna be like, you fucking idiot, what are you doing? Like, you just let it go. Like, I don't know, man. Just
like pronounce. If you were to have this conversation live, you wouldn't be like, oh, you mean horusu? Like, yeah. Like just, you wouldn't do that, right?
I like understand where you want to be, like, I don't even know what the word is. Like, you want to be respectful, I guess, but like, it's going too far. Like, you just sound like an idiot. Just don't do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, Charlie Chan, but like for Japanese people, like what this guy's whole shtick is. And yeah, you really should stop. Like, if you are not like, I don't even know. Yeah, I agree with Mike. If you are not of the Japanese tongue, just fucking leave it be, dude. Like, you're not impressing anybody with your fake fucking Japanese accent.
Yeah, they don't care if you say, like, they honestly don't care if you say Nakamura. Like, they don't fucking care, man. They don't care whatever you pronounce. When I was trying to learn Japanese with my ex, she was laughing the whole way, like the whole way of me mispronouncing everything. But she wasn't like, you fucking moron, you have to say it with a fucking racist accent. Like, it's just fucking, Like, I don't know, man. Dude, just quit. Just fucking quit podcasting.
You're not getting any props because you say Shinsuke instead of Shinsuke. Like,
yeah, just say Shinsuke. If that's how you want to say it, man, this is America. Say words however the fuck you want to say them. That's what the beauty of this fucking country.
Fucking cornball. All
say
right.
empanada, say empanada, say quesadilla. It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh my god, I can't get over it. VRTL pros, man, just be charming. Up next, our main segment. Or do you have any more 2-man scramble topics?
Good, that was like an hour, so I'm good.
Up next, things that happen in pro wrestling that we never expected to see. Please stay tuned.
We are back here on Virtual Pros Podcast, the greatest podcast in the world. We are here to talk about things in wrestling we never thought we would see that actually happened. And I will say, when I came up with this topic, I had these grand ideas that I would come up with like real stumpers from my past about like weird things that happened in wrestling I never thought I'd see. I didn't do that. I thought about things that probably happened in the last 3 months. So, so you know, what are you going to do? I mean, I think they're all big things, but I don't know how entertaining they're going to be until I say them. So I apologize. That's why I try to bring the heat with that 2-man scramble topic, like 2 minutes ago. I'm sorry if I got a little worked up, but you know, I just want you guys to just, if this segment falls flat, I want you guys to forget and just move on. So yeah, I came up with 3 things that are, they're pretty much, it's not like, like I said, I wanted to come up with something like, oh, I never thought I'd see like Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant, but I didn't come up with anything like that. So I'm going to start out with my lamest one first, which is I would never thought I'd see the day when like you could stream like Japanese wrestling.
Oh shit, you stole mine, dude. Fuck.
Is that one of yours? Damn
yeah.
it. Oh well.
We'll talk about it together. It's fine.
It's going to be an even quicker segment. But yeah, it's just like, it's fucking crazy, man. Like, New Japan isn't the most user-friendly thing, but the fact that it exists and they kind of encourage American people to use it is pretty insane. The fact that Stardom had a YouTube channel is just bonkers. Because, like, if you look at when Hulu first started out, they actually had, like, a decent amount of Japanese programming on it, and it was free. And then when they became a pay thing, like, now if you search, like, foreign Japanese television, it's all anime. And I have a feeling there are live action TV shows in Japan. And it's like, it's not just like, they have Korean soap operas, they have Chinese soap operas on there. You're telling me there's no Japanese programming worth showing on Hulu? So like, it's to the point where like wrestling is kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to streaming Japanese content in America. And it's not often that wrestling is ahead of any curve. So it's pretty amazing. And on top of that, I mean, you could find shit kind of illegally on the internet too. And it's a wonderful world we're living in right now if you're a fan of any kind of foreign wrestling.
Yeah, this was mine too, but before I get into that, if you guys have Netflix, you guys should watch Terrace House. Probably the best reality TV show I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, mine was like streamable / on-demand wrestling being available in 2016. Like, for all of my old listeners out there, we used to use these things called VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And we would have to pay like, I don't know, $15 for a brick or like 4 tapes or whatever. And we had to wait in the mail and go to the post office to watch this shit. And so for me to be able to type in like fucking phrases and to have all this wrestling on demand, like I think Suplexes and Blunts, he let us borrow his account for a SM video, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And like, you can watch all these like matches and all these like events like instantly, and that shit to me is amazing. It's probably the reason why I've been such a fucking WrestleManiac for the past year or so, is because I can keep up sort of with all the wrestling that's going on.
I will say, I mean, Smart Mark Video has like kind of a different thing going, but even like Stardom and New Japan World are kind of ahead of them, because with Smart Mark, like you have to pay per event. And it's
is that
like,
how it works? Okay.
Yeah, it's still like $10 or $15, and that's kind of ridiculous. Like, I understand there's no way around it, but I mean, if that was like I'm sure like eventually it'll be something where it's like a monthly fee and you can just watch anything you want, and then it'll be a great day. I'm still not paying $10 or $15 per indie wrestling event, but that's just because I'm stingy.
Mine is not related, but I mean, we're still talking about Asian people, and I never thought I would see Asian wrestlers being treated respectfully in America.
That is one of mine.
Motherfuck, man, this is gonna be like 10 minutes long. Anyway.
Yeah, mine is 2 parts, but you could say your part first.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like in 2000 when they gave Taka and Funaki that gimmick that was super racist, where they would play like the fucking overdubs when they would cut promos.
Mean Kung Fu Naki?
There you go, Kung Fu Naki. I think I actually wrote an email to feedback at WWF.com and letting them know how racist they were being during my fucking pro-Asian phase as a fucking college student. But I mean, you have these guys that are like being prominently featured, like Nakamura and Asuka and Hideo Itami, and I was like, wow. I mean, I'll give them the fact that they're signing like top tier talent, but I never thought I'd see the day that they're like actually like treating Asian people with dignity.
Yeah, mine was kind of 2 parts. It's more, I never thought I'd see the day that WWE would be treating women and all foreigners like real human beings. And they are. It's crazy, especially women. Like, I am shocked that they are starting to treat women like they're real human beings. Foreigners in general, they're not just they're evil stereotypes anymore. I mean, Cesaro's not really doing well. Let's face facts. He's not fucking setting the world on fire, but he's not like an evil foreigner anymore. Rusev is an evil foreigner, but it makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Even he's kind of toned down than he was. The Japanese, like the Asians, honestly, it still hasn't reached actual WWE Raw level. So we'll see when Nakamura gets called up if he's still like, if he comes out with like a rice patty hat or anything. Like, we'll see. Like, it's still, the jury is still out on him. But because there's still no like mainstream WWE Japanese star. I think he's gonna do it though. He's gonna break the barrier. I'm not so sure about Asuka. I think she can. Ibushi, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to make it past NXT, and if he even signs with WWE, but
he's going to be on Raw, dude.
Oh yeah, because they're doing the cruiserweights, huh?
Yeah, man, he's going to be fucking shining out here.
Yeah, I don't know if he has it. I don't know if he's going to be the star. Nakamura, though, I think it's undoubtable that he's going to be a star. But women too, like it's honestly like real sad to think it took like up until 6 months ago for them to start treating them like real human beings, but it's happening, and that's good. I mean, they could vote now. They could they could go out without their husbands, and they could wrestle, and it's fucking great.
Weird time we live in, man.
Okay, so I guess now it's just my last one already. We're just going through this. Hopefully Al also has this one too.
I'm gonna laugh if I do.
Fuck, I just think I forgot what it was. I gotta start writing this stuff down. I get a little too tipsy during this thing, and I forget. It is... I said the Asian thing. I said the women thing.
Can you say your next thing like in a totally Japanese accent?
No, this is one that you don't have, and you're gonna get upset about it, because you hate fun in wrestling. And you hate non-yellow people. So, I never thought, like, if you listen to, like, I don't even know. It was only like 4 episodes, maybe like 6 episodes ago. We did like an Ask Me Anything on this podcast.
Yeah.
And Daniel wrote in and he asked, which Hardy Boy do we hate the most? And it was like, and it actually took a long time. So I never thought I'd see the day where Matt Hardy is probably in the top 5 most entertaining wrestlers in the world right now. That is insane to me. Broken Matt Hardy. That would make NXT TakeOver fucking... If Nakamura wins the belt and like Broken Matt Hardy comes out and fucking challenges Nakamura, I will buy a ticket there no matter where it is in the world. I'll just be like, I'm there. Let's go. Let's see Nakamura Matt Hardy, because That is going to be an amazing match. But this guy is just like, you know, I think he's around my age. He might be a couple years older, maybe even a few years older, actually. But like either way, like he has mastered the internet and just like mastered, as you would say, working the marks in the business. And it's fucking great. This guy is fucking on fire right now. If you are like such a crab apple like Al and you don't want to like dip into Matt Hardy, you really got to check it out, man. He is just like, I like when he started doing this gimmick, I was like, this has no legs. This is dumb. But it is like, he is so good at doing what he's doing right now. And it's, I commend, my hat's off to you, Matt Hardy. I never thought there'd be the day where I was a fan of yours outside of like Omega, which was 700 years ago. And here we are, 2016, and Matt Hardy is literally on top of the world. He is like, he put TNA on his back, and he is carrying that shitty promotion into levels it's never seen, getting upwards to 400,000 viewers a week.
Not into it. My last one is he's a creative guy. I'll give him that, but yeah. I mean, it's just not for me. You're totally right. I'm a fucking piece of shit. Yep. My last one is the ECW WWF invasion. And before I start, like, don't at me about fucking UWFI versus New Japan like you fucking lived it. Like, you read it on Wikipedia. Shut the fuck up. But I mean, this was like the time where I was getting back into it. And so for them to do like these like really weird, like in promotional things, like to me, it was like really shocking. Like, I remember when like Jerry Lawler was on Raw, like calling them out, like talking about how they wrestled in a bingo hall. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And so once they debuted at the Manhattan Center, I was like mystified. And so like for me to see that, like I never thought I'd see something like that happen, but it did. And definitely a magical time for me as a wrestling fan for sure.
Oh, at first I thought you said the WWE WCW invasion. I was like, that was fucking lame.
Did I say that? ECW? ECW.
You probably did. I just heard it wrong. But no, yeah, that ECW stuff was like insane when it happened. And it's still insane to think about.
Yeah, like
Sabu jumping off the R and like all that stuff.
Yeah. Like fucking when I think it was Mind Games when they're in Philadelphia in your house, the main event was Shawn Michaels Mankind. And they had like, I think that was it, where they had Sandman and Tommy Dreamer in the crowd and like they're just like spitting beer on Savio Vega. I was like, holy shit, like, is this real? And so like, I don't know, just that whole entire like storyline was really amazing to me.
And then like Lawler showed up to ECW and fought Tommy Dreamer. Like, it was pretty wild. And like, they might be able to do that with Evolve and like NXT at this point, but it's not going to be the same. It's not as wild as ECW. That was, that was definitely a magical time. And that was at the point where WWE was kind of hurting though, so it was like they were into anything. That was also like when they were coming off. That even might have been before they started flirting with the Lucha Libre, which was a bad look, but I don't remember.
Hey yo, listeners, there is that when Jerry Lawler invaded, he hit Tommy Dreamer in the dick real hard with a cane, and I think I read somewhere that like Tommy Dreamer had like a split testicle. Yes. Listeners, if this was legit, email us virtualpro64@gmail.com. I'm interested.
I'm pretty sure I heard.
Was it getting worked? I don't know.
No, I heard Tommy Dreamer on a podcast recently, like within the last couple of years, and I'm pretty sure he mentioned that getting his dick broken by Jerry Lawler. So I think that's true. I think that's legit.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Up next, VRTL mix with Low Key, Bryan Danielson, aka American Dragon, Hardy Boys, Mike's favorite wrestler, I guess, wrestlers, quote unquote. Please stay tuned.
Another one. We the best music. Major key. DJ Khaled.
Yeah, I go on and on. Can't understand how I last so long. I must have the superpowers. Last 223,000 hours. And it's cause I'm off of CC. And I'm off the Hennessy. And like your boy from Compton said, you know this dick ain't free. I got girls that I should've made pay for it. Got girls that I should've made wait for it. I got girls that'll cancel a flight back home. Stay another day for it. You got attitude on nana, yo. Pussy on agua, yo. Stomach on flat, and yo. Ass on what's that? And yeah, I need it all right now. Last year I had drama, girl, not right now. I would never go and chat what we talking about. You the only one I know could fit it all in them. Man, I always wonder if you ask yourself, is it just me? Is it just me? Or is this sex so good I shouldn't have to fall for free? Is it just me? Yeah, is it just me. Is this sex so good I shouldn't have to...
And welcome back to Virtual Pros episode 22. We have kind of a varied mixtape for you this week. Even though I picked a lot of junior stuff and Mike picked a lot of ghoul shit. Not really a lot, but he picked a really ghoulish match.
Might be the first week ever that Al picked no women, no yellow people at all. Just all straight up white people fighting each other.
I'm trying to change, man.
White men.
So you're up first.
So yeah, Al picked all white people, which was weird for him. And I did not. But the first match I'll talk about that I picked is Mikey Whipwreck, Yoshihiro Tajiri, and Kana, aka Asuka, versus Akira, Starbuck, and Shuri. And this was a barbed wire boards match. And this was in something called Wrestling New Classic, which I assume does not exist anymore. I never heard of it before this. I was just looking, I think in Podcast Town in the wrestling thread, we were talking about Tajiri for some reason. I was like, oh, let me dig up one of those matches he had with Kana, because that would be like topical. And I found this instead, and I saw Mikey Whipwreck, and I saw barbed wire boards, and I was like, oh, I'm in for this. And the one thing I'll say is that if you Google Wrestling New Classic, I think on Purusu. Is that a good Japanese inflection?
Puroresu.
Yes.
Puroresu.
If you look up Pro Wrestling Spirit, but the Japanese spelling of that word, they have like a whole match list, like a card list of all of the Wrestling New Classic events. And I am so sad that I missed out on this Wrestling New Classic stuff, because it was like FMW Never Died. I should have pulled it up, but it's just like all of the events are just like amazing cards. But one of them also has Kana versus Leatherface on it. And the first thing I did was drop my computer and look for this match, and I couldn't find it. But hopefully that pops up somewhere, because I'd love to see that. This match, however, maybe is not the best match. I'll be straight up. It's not a classic. It's a 6-man, and I will say it's maybe the lamest barbed wire boards match ever. There's hardly any barbed wire board spots. But so it kind of sucks as a barbed wire board match, but as a spectacle and weird wrestling, it's pretty good though. Mikey Whipwreck looks like a real piece of work in this match. He's very fat. He is so ashamed of his body. Not only is he wearing a t-shirt, but he's wearing a button-up shirt over that t-shirt. And I think he comes to the ring in a fedora to tell you how his life is going. And I won't lie, this match on our mixtape is broken up in 2 parts. You could probably skip that whole first part. Nothing really happens. A lot of feeling out process. I think we talked about that Shuri girl before, at least once. She has some hard kicks. And Kana and Shuri take the brunt of the barbed wire, but it's not even like, it's seriously like a pretty tame barbed wire match. I don't even know why they scheduled this as a barbed wire match, because it's not like, I don't know, it's not that crazy.
Oh, you know why.
Why?
I'll get into it when I present mine.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is more, I'm always into these, hold on, okay, I'm always into these, like, weird amalgamations of wrestlers, and god damn it, what the fuck is going on? Sorry. I'm trying to pull up this fucking shit. God damn it.
Episode 22. Such a shit show. Fucking love it.
Motherfucker. Hold on a second. It won't let me fucking it won't let me copy paste.
You had your notes copy pasted?
No, I was trying to find this fucking... fuck. Here we go. I'm just trying to... I really want to highlight these event cards, and I've been trying to do that this whole fucking thing. Fucking copy paste won't work. Yeah, I'm just like... Got Akira versus Yuki Ishikawa. It's just like so many good matches. Jado and Gato are on these. Ultimo Dragon and Lynn Byron. There's just like so many weird pairings on this. Shuri versus Mikado. Tajiri and Ryuji Yamakawa versus Zeus and the Bodyguard. Whoever they are. They have I don't think it's the Zeus, but they have cool names. Yeah. Tetsumi Fujinami versus Leatherface. Where else are you going to get that? Like, except for Wrestling New Classic, which is apparently the hottest wrestling of 2012. That can't be the real Tatsumi Fujinami. He's so old.
Who else would it be, man? I don't know. Maybe it's midget Tatsumi Fujinami.
It could be. That would have been. No, he's on another. Yeah, he's on another one of these cards. I guess it's really him. I don't know. I don't think he needs the money, but yeah, I gotta find somebody that just has all of these on DVD or something because they all look great. But anyways, yeah, this isn't the best match, but it got me into this new Wrestling New Classic, which isn't very new anymore. But I will try and check out more. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, so your notes overlap with mine a little bit. They cut to Kana, Mikey, and Tajiri at the beginning. Mikey's wearing a fedora next to Kana, and this scene, this frame, is like truly a weeaboo god dream. Of course, Mike picked this match because it has 2 Japanese women in barbed wire. Mikey Whipwreck is not only wearing 1, but 2 t-shirts while wrestling, which means he's double washed here in 2012. My question to you is, what are the odds of seeing blood in a WWE women's match in the near future?
On purpose? Never. I don't think it will ever happen. Not on purpose.
I think we were talking about how women are treated as people in 2016, and I think we're going to see blood next year, dude.
Oh man, when I listened to I was in a mood today, and I listened to all like a lot of our old classic podcasts, and just sitting there like stroking my chin, like, yeah, everybody else should quit. We're the shit. And you said that this was in the February episode. You said that 2016, the new hot shit was going to be seizure endings, and that hasn't happened yet. But now I'm just like waiting for it, where they ended fucking like seizure knockouts. But
dude,
so yeah, maybe 2017 is when we'll see seizure endings and women's blood matches.
Dude, NXT Brooklyn, the surprise you were talking about is Bayley. She's gonna fucking end up like in the middle of the ring with her arm up, like how like UFC fighters get knocked out. And she's just gonna be convulsing, dude. I can't wait.
You might be right, because they're like the angle they did tonight for on NXT is kind of like, it's more of a mean Bailey, so it might be leading to that. We'll see.
She's gonna be frothing at the mouth, dude. I'm gonna bet some money on it. But yeah, I mean, like, this whole match is like very fast forward worthy. But until the last minute or so, and I feel like a lot of like Japanese dudes had their puds out waiting for like both Kana and Syuri like to take these barbed wire bumps. Mm-hmm. And spoiler alert, it happens. And yeah, I feel like a lot of ghouls got their full release when these bumps happened.
I'm sorry, Al, I have to correct you. It's Kana and Shiryu. I also wanted to mention I finally found the card this is from. It was August 31st, 2012. One of the guys on the undercard in a 6-man match is somebody named Backpacker Joe. Do you think he had an underground hip-hop gimmick?
I fucking hope so, dude. If Backpacker Joe came out like in an olive t-shirt and like cargo shorts and had a JanSport, like, you would have him, B-Boy. Like, that would have been my fucking favorite era of pro wrestling for sure. If that's like really like a real gimmick that happened.
It's a 6-man match. It's Veneno, all caps, Backpacker Joe, and Yo Hey, all caps. These guys have to have a rap gimmick. They're all from Dojo, whatever the fuck that is, versus El Hijo del Pantera, Koji Doi, and Lynn Byron. Anybody out there, if you were into this Wrestling New Classic, hit me up, because I'd like to hear some stories about this stuff.
Backpacker Joe, man, that's a cool name. The next match we're going to talk about is Low Key versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, from APW, King of the Indies, 2001. I think it's cool that Vallejo got a huge show like this, because in NorCal, we rarely get any wrestling events, and we still don't. We still have Hood Slam, which is okay, I guess, but I mean, I always wonder why, like, indies don't come over here. I guess it's a money thing, but, I mean, I'd pay to see that shit. Completely ignorant of this entire era of indie wrestling.
Oh, wait, hold the phone.
Uh-oh.
Backpacker Joe is a little wrestler named Angelico from Lucha Libre and Lucha Underground. He had to be a rap gimmick. I gotta look into this.
Yo, does he have Twitter? Because I want to ask him what his favorite Hieroglyphics album is.
We'll check after the episode.
Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, like I'm completely ignorant of like this entire era of pro wrestling, and like I remember this like tournament getting a lot of play on the DVD VR boards when like it was like green board era. But that was about it. Like, that's all I remember. I know you and I talk about how, like, kids should have free reign at pro wrestling events, but there's, like, 2 to 3 kids in this audience, and, like, I feel like they should all get pie-faced because they would not shut the fuck up. They were just, like, yelling dumb shit. And, like, just by their voices, I knew they were shitheads. So, come on, kids. Don't do that. 5 minutes in, I realized that this YouTube video is just a guy pointing a camera at his TV, which is like the lowest form of YouTube
Is that
video.
what it is?
Yeah, that's why it's so fucking like blurry.
Oh, that makes so much sense. That clears so many things up.
I think there's a part where like someone walks in the room and you can hear shuffling, and I was like, ah, shit, I've been had. But like, I was too pot committed already, you know what I mean? Like, I was already 6 or 7 minutes in, and I was like, fuck, I can't take it back now. But yeah, dude, like, if you like are filming like wrestling on your laptop, like for your Instagram or Twitter, don't do it. It looks like trash.
This
You
is
look like
38
trash.
minutes long, too. Like, you just sat there for 38 minutes? It's crazy.
I don't think he held it up. Like, I think he had a tripod, which is even weirder, but I mean, he did it. To me, this match is kind of plodding, to be honest. Like, the pacing is really slow and really weird for the most part. But there are some, like, highlights that are noteworthy. Like, Low-Ki hits, like, this Phoenix Splash, I guess you can say. Like, on the outside, which is insane. And he also hits, like, a key crusher off the top rope. And, like, he really almost, like, spikes Daniel Bryan on his head, which is totally scary. I can't honestly recommend this match. But, like, if you have any suggestions about, like, what I should watch when it comes to 2001 indie wrestling, I'd definitely be down to watch it.
Yeah, I believe this match might have been on a Phil Schneider comp. This might have been, I think this match and a earlier match in this tournament were the first time I saw American Dragon Bryan Danielson. I thought Al picked this match because he knows how much I hate Low-Ki, and he maybe picked this as some kind of revenge tactic for any any past and future death matches I put on this mixtape, because I tried to watch all these last night. And this was the third match I tried to watch, and I saw 40 minutes in Low-Ki, and I was like, okay, I can't do this right now. Like, this is just going to ruin me going to bed. I'm going to be so upset. So I
didn't know you didn't like Low-Ki. What's your beef with Low-Ki?
I can't stand him.
Why?
He's probably my most hated wrestler. Okay, well, the dude is like 4'7", which, you know, that's fine. I'm a height truther, but I'm short. Like, I don't have like a problem with short people, but don't fight like you're a big man when you're 4'7". Like, you fucking look like an idiot. Like, don't be, oh, I'm a big, tough, serious man. Like, dude, you're fucking tiny as hell. Like, you can't pull that off. Like, I don't care how stiff your fucking kicks are, how many fucking muscles you have. You're 4'8". Like, just, I don't know. Like, fucking stop scowling. Laugh every once in a while. Dude, and like, it's not even like it's like a gimmick. Like, anytime I've heard him in an interview, he's just like such a sourpuss, like super serious. Thinks wrestling is real, like fucking Bret Hart or some shit. But even worse, and it's just like, I don't know, he's such a sourpuss.
Hey, dude, I think he does the Japanese pronunciation thing like in real life for some reason.
I am sure he does. I mean, I did not, like, it was so, like, I was filled with so much joy when he was on whatever NXT was called, when it was just, like, getting indie guys and putting them on TV.
Yeah.
And they just paired him up with those two girls and made him a joke. And both of those girls were, like, literally 1.5 feet taller than him. And it was just, like, it was just, like, I was just basking in it. Like, this is what you get. You signed up for this. And then, like, years later, he came back to the Indies and legit knocked some dude out because he's fucking so reckless. Like, I don't know, man. I can't stand that dude. One of my other notes was this looks like it's from 1976, but we cleared that up. That was the reason why it looks like it's 1976. Like Al, I agree this match is very plodding, and I actually, like, my note was just, this is wrestling? And question mark? Because it's like, you know, I can see that this is wrestling chant going on for this match, but it would be really slow. It'd be like, this is wrestling. And I kind of appreciate, like, usually I'm in the camp. I'm in the fucking old grumpy camp where I'm like, these new jacks, they need to slow it down. But no, because this is like proto-modern, like Evolve, hard style wrestling or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's like super slow, as if it was like a legitimate contest, and it's just boring. It's like a half an hour match of these guys doing boring shit, like real slow. That key crusher, I guess is what it's called. I didn't know the name of it. I just wrote down Low-Ki does a top rope move that's pretty cool. I guess that's what it is.
I think it's a key crusher.
Yeah, it was super dangerous. That's for sure. I know I saw this match at some point, but I was shocked to see Bryan Danielson actually win, because I was like, there's no way. I don't think Low-Ki ever loses. I think that's in his contract. But it was 2001, so maybe he took some L's back then. But I mean, it's if you're into like being patient, it's a decent match. If you're into like Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair, but with modern, like semi-modern moves, it's kind of like that kind of pacing. But when you do that kind of pacing, it works better when you don't do those kind of moves. And I don't know. again, 2001. Everything wasn't hunky dory yet, but it's a good historical piece. But I would not recommend it if you're just like looking to watch something for goofs.
The last match we're going to talk about tonight is Hardy.
You're just giving over my second match. What the fuck?
I actually am. Go ahead.
What the fuck? My next match is the Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We're gonna run this bit into the ground, dude. I fucking can't wait. It's so funny to me. This is from Revolution Pro Summer Sizzler 2014, which is a UK promotion. I basically picked this match because, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Zack Sabre Jr. just had his debut match in the Cruiserweight Classic, and it was kind of a wet fart because, that style just doesn't translate well on television. Just holding people's hands and shit and fucking rolling around with them. It's not exciting on television. It's kind of exciting in real life, but on television, it's just dumb. And, it got me thinking, like, anytime I see, like, I've seen Zack Sabre Jr. live, I think 3 times now. And every time he fights a dude who's, like, game to fight this weird style. And pretty much any time I see him on television, he's also fighting a dude that's game to fight this weird style. So I was like, I gotta find a match where he fights a dude who's probably not so game to fight this weird style. And that's where I came out with this Nakamura match, because this dude is like the most charismatic wrestler going right now. He is not gonna bow down to this fucking hand-holding bullshit stuff. He is the vet in this match, so he doesn't need to go Zack Sabre Jr. style. So I'm like, this is a true test. I've never seen this match. If Zack Sabre is interesting in this match, maybe there's some hope for his weird style. And I will say, I won't say it won me over, completely over, but he can bend his style into fitting into more of a, palatable style, I guess, palatable television style, because Nakamura does a good job of, they do a little brawling outside with Nakamura throwing him into a bunch of chairs and shit, and it's pretty cool. And Zack still gets his shit in. There is one point, I will say, Oliver, who used to be a DVD VR poster, who's now the announcer of this wrestling, his pronunciation of Nakamura is next level. Like, I don't need, like, he is like, his accent is on all of the wrong syllables. And I'm not making fun of him because he's from a different country and he has a different accent, but it's just like, it's so crazy to hear him say Nakamura. And better than trying to put on some weird Japanese accent, honestly. Like, it's still way better. But yeah, the way he says Nakamura, at one point, either he or the other guy says Zack Sabre Jr. is built like a swimmer. And that's exactly what you don't want to say about a wrestler. You don't want to ever say, yeah, he's built like a swimmer. Like, that is like, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. That's why no one likes this guy. And that's exactly, maybe you want to say he's like, I don't even know, he's gangly. Even saying he's gangly is better than saying he's built like a swimmer. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. This match is entertaining. I was very, very, spoiler alert, I was very, very afraid somehow Nakamura was going to lose this match and I was just going to lose faith in wrestling, but because I honestly, like, I can't remember if I've seen like a handful of Zack Sabre Jr. matches now. I don't know if I've ever seen him lose. I think maybe once outside of this. But this is a decent match. It's fun to watch, and it shows that as long as it's not a Zack Sabre Jr. showcase, he can throw down with people who do the strong style and other shit. So check this match out. Also, if you literally check this match out, because I've noticed we're getting more and more subscribers to our mixtape.
I see you guys.
This shit starts like 12 minutes into this video, so just fast forward 12 minutes.
Not much to add. Had some questions though. Are panties and jackets a foolproof wave when it comes to wrestling outfits? I feel like everyone that like rocks this look is automatically tight, like Kobashi, Otani, Bobby Backlund. Like, if you do this, you're probably going to be pretty good at wrestling.
Eugene.
God dang it. I guess not. Shinsuke comes out with a woman and like, she's like strutting around him. Yeah. And it could just be me, but he looks kind of repulsed. Did you notice this?
I don't think he looked repulsed. I did have a question about that. I don't know. I was too lazy to write it down, but do you think that was in his contract where he's like, you have to fly this lady over? Or do you think they just put out like a cattle call for Japanese women?
I don't even think he's Japanese. I think like they just saw how hot the Wrestle Kingdom 8 entrance was. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to recreate this, but like we only have one Asian girl, so that's what happened. But yeah, other than that, like the match was fine. Like I said, ZSJ doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I mean it's a pretty good match to watch. The last match we're gonna talk about tonight, part 2, is the Hardy Boys versus Serial Thrillers from Omega, January 1999. This match was personally uploaded by one Matt Hardy, who states that this match is one of the greatest matches ever in Omega history. The only thing I know about Omega is that Dean from Death Valley Driver, like, he, like, fucking fawned over this promotion. That's, like, all I really knew about Omega. So I'm watching this match, like, with zero context, like, in a vacuum, but this crowd is fucking on fire, and I really wonder what shitty thing the Hardys did to get this reaction. Because anytime, like, they would get, like, pounded on, like, the crowd would just go ape shit. Like, they're like kids jumping into, like, high school stands. And I was like, I've never seen a crowd this lit ever like this. So it was kind of cool to watch. Mike Maverick, he has some tights on, and that's, they say, like, Thug Life on the butt. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of not sure how to feel about that. On the other hand, Matt and Jeff Hardy, they have matching tights that say Honor and Pride. And this might be the dorkiest look we've come across on the mixtape, for sure. There's this spot where Matt Hardy, or it's Matt or Jeff, either one of them. I think it's Jeff. Jeff is laying down, and, like, Matt falls on top of him. And he lands on Jeff, and it looks like they're 69ing, which has the crowd, like, absolutely howling. And then they start a homophobic chant, unsurprisingly, which to me is, like, kind of weird, because it's odd to say that we lived in a simpler time, like, only 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't believe they fucking did that. But, you know, simpler times. Jeff hits this move that could be best described as, like, a slingshot Arabian press, which is, like, YouTube-worthy. Like, fast, like, rewind-worthy, I mean. Super fire. This match is fine. Like, I can't fully recommend it, but, like, if you're into, like, crazy, like, crowd reactions, like, it's a must-watch.
Yeah, Omega was a shit back in the day. I only got, like, a few Omega tapes, but it was definitely, for the time, it was definitely the hottest American promotion, for the short-lived time it was around. And, this was, like, the legendary Omega match. I think this was also on a Phil Schneider comp. And I think the only other time I've seen this match was, like, very G to G minus quality. Just very, very bad quality. Hardy's had cool outfits, as Al pointed out. And, like, it took me a minute to realize these are the same outfits that the Young Bucks wear right now. And it's real sad, because they're dumb as fuck. As Al mentioned, people are fucking losing it. They are losing their shit. Like, this is the most hyped indie crowd ever. Everybody who goes to indie shows now, I want you to watch this match, because you will realize how dumb you sound when you chant "This is wrestling" and both these guys and all that stuff. Like, if you want to be hyped during a show, listen to how hyped these people are, because it's, like, genuine. They are going off for everything. Not even, like, crazy high spots. They're going off for just, like, the Hardys getting punched in the face. Like, they are fucking losing it. And so until you get on this level, just don't make any noise. Just be like a polite Japanese crowd and just clap politely, because this crowd kills it. It's weird to watch this now, because at the time this was kind of like real cutting edge stuff, but it's kind of, again, it's like a lot like the low key match, where it's kind of like a slowed down version of maybe like a New Japan Juniors tag team match, basically, where they're doing the same moves, but it's a little slower. It's still, like, super good. There's not very much psychology going on for the most part, but it's another good historical thing for the crowd alone. In the front row, there are two people wearing those old style throwback, well, not throwback at the time, but they're wearing those old style college team hats that were just white and had, like, the name of the team, like, Beavers, just in the regular, like, kind of Times New Roman stitching, and with the red, like, the bars underneath and over it. I love those hats. The Serial Thrillers finisher is Mike Maverick sitting on the top rope and Greg Helms climbing on his shoulders and just jumping off. Kind of a dumb move, but super cool looking. Like, it's a real dumb move. I don't know why you would even think of doing that, but it looks really, really cool. And yeah, like I said, even if this is not your most favorite style of wrestling, I definitely think you should check this out just to hear how hyped this crowd is, because they are fucking losing their shit over everything. And it's just, it's like, it's an actual fun crowd. It's not just a bunch of fat nerds in black t-shirts fucking sitting there smelling weird. Like, it's actual, like, kids, it's families. Like, this is like what wrestling should be when you go to, like, an independent wrestling. It shouldn't just be like I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking fat. I have glasses. I look like everybody else that goes to fucking wrestling. But you know, what the fuck? Like, maybe some kids should go too. Like, I hate kids, but you know, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, this makes me nostalgic for a thing I was never a part of, basically. And that is cool. That's a cool feeling that this match. So I definitely recommend it.
I'm cool with kids at shows, but the kids that were at the APW show, they can't go to any more shows. I was going to ask you though, like, do you think this match is like, does it hold up?
Yeah, like I said, it's not like, I don't think it's as mind blowing as it was back in the day. Cause like, I mean, again, like, I've never realized how much like the Young Bucks bit off of like the old Hardys. Cause it's been so long since like anybody's seen the old Hardys. And I mean, this is just like Young Bucks to a T, with but the Young Bucks do super kicks too. So it's kind of hard to say it holds up when like everybody is doing these moves at like double time. But I definitely think, I mean, like as far as like a historic, I think it's more interesting than the low key Daniel Bryan match, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think it's worth a watch. It's not that long.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun match, actually. That was episode 22 of the VRTL Pros podcast. You can hit us on Twitter and Instagram at VRTL Pros. Hey, if you don't follow us already on Twitter, like, do so. We're almost at 300 followers. I think that's a big number. I don't think anyone really fucks with Twitter anymore, honestly. But yeah, if you haven't followed us, do so, you know. Hit us on iTunes by searching for Virtual Pros and subscribing. And also hit us on SoundCloud, also by searching Virtual Pros. If you want to email us, please do so at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Mike, last word.
Itadakimasu. Bye bye.